The return of Timarcus Davis, especially with Chase Lucas being out, what kind of effect did it have on the secondary this past game?
Well, we've really been lucky to have him, when Chase went down, to have somebody up like him coming back off his injury. So right now I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to work the lineup. The best part about it is now I think I have 3 or 4 corners that we can go ahead and match up against 3 or 4 wide receivers. So it's been a blessing.
Donnie, back here. Chris Carpenter, Central Source. What did you think about Tommy's reps, given that he started in that game?
That's a good one. The game was big for Tommy in the beginning. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that one place, the one guy went underneath, and it was his guy, and he said, "Ooh, I better go with him." So then he ran. But as the game got going on, he sat there and watched the older guys play, calmed himself down a little bit. We talked to him a lot on the sideline, trying to prepare him for what was going to call him as far as the calls and what he had to do. So by the end of the game, he was fine. He didn't play, I think he played maybe 15, 16 snaps when it was all said and done. But, you got to get those young guys in there and give them a chance to compete and see if they can figure it out, really. And that was a pretty good game to do it. The guy didn't throw the ball a lot either. So he had a chance to, sit there and get right in the fire. Didn't have to compete as much as you'd like to see him do, so it worked out okay.
Yes, sir. Coach, how do you feel about how well Jack Jones has been playing so far this season?
Well, there's times that I have to get on Jack a little bit about playing certain techniques, but overall, he's covered his guy. He's got himself in trouble a couple of games by letting the guy get on top of him and stuff, and he guesses a lot, but overall, I'm happy with him. Sometimes you got to let those type of guys play. They don't always play the right technique, and they don't always do things the right way, but they compete hard. They know what to do, and most of those guys think they're cover corners anyway, and that's all they want to do is to cover the cat. So, we don't ask them to do a whole lot anyway. Play your man, get your eyes right, get on top, things like that. So, he guesses. He know it. I know it. I know he's guessing. I mean, I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of them. So, when your eyes when your eyes over here and your man's running right there, I know what you're doing. You're looking at the quarterback. So, but overall, I've been happy for you.
Hi, Coach Sam Miller, Comcast Sports. What have you seen from Chase Lucas this season? What characteristics do you have that make him so different than any other DBs in the country?
I think it starts with him, number one. I think it starts with his confidence. I think it talks about his technique. He's played a lot of football games, and when you play a lot of football games like he has, the confidence is there. You've seen enough just through visual experiences, and when you think you're the best and you feel like you're the best, you kind of feel like you're pretty good. And I think he's at that point right now, after all the years he's played, coming in from last year, 4 games last year, or how many we played. And now that, he came back for a reason, really, is to get more film to make sure it showed who he really is. And I think he's playing pretty well. I've been lucky. I mean, I'm walking in right now with 2 guys that's been around. And TD's been around, so you got 3 guys that's got experience. And if you don't ask them to do too much, and they do the right thing, it's like I tell them, just keep the ball inside and in front. If you can do that, we will be okay. Keep the ball inside and in front, inside for the running game, and in front for the passing game, and we'll be okay.
Donnie, with Davis out in the first few games and Chase getting knocked out, you've played Jordan Clark more, Mason Williams more. That's going to help you, I know, in the long run, but there's a learning curve. Just wanted your thoughts about how those guys are doing.
Well, you're right. When you have injuries, you gotta figure out what's next and who's up next and those type of things that you hear people say. The old cliches. Excuse me. When you have 5 or 6 guys or 7 guys, I would say we have corners in particular. They're interchangeable. They can play corner and they can play nickel. And you can get it done in practice where you can actually see if they can really do it. It's been good. I mean, let's be honest. Chase goes down now. What do? Well, TD's down now. What do? And some of that stuff just happens at the spur of the moment. So you look at a guy like 25 Williams, who's played 3-4 games. Hey, get in there. You know, you've earned the right to play. You've earned the right to show that, you know, you can compete. You earned the right to know, let everybody know that you know what to do. Can't be afraid to put him in there, because who's next? So I've been fortunate, honestly. I mean, my biggest thing is the safeties. You know, who's the next safety? You know, that's the one that scares me. You know, if you got 2 goes down and 4 goes down and 12 goes down, now who you got? Now I got a few young guys. Well, the problem with that is those young guys don't get all the reps in practice like the old guys do. So I got to do a better job of rotating those safeties right now and trying to figure out who's next. So to answer your question, it's been a blessing to have those type of guys that's interchangeable and they know what to do.
Who might that be, the 4th safety?
Well, right now I got some guys in there. I better not say their names. They might get nervous. No. I got T. Lee working in there. I got Hart working in there. And then I said to myself, hey, this kid over here does everything right, young kid. And then you start looking what's ahead and you say, hey, let's see what he could do. So right now I'm working with Reagan, RJ. So I got him back there. I had him back there today for the first time. We made it easy for him. So there were situations where if we were playing too deep, we sent him to the 2 sides so he didn't have to concentrate on that. And if he had to play man, instead of having one of those other safety types he's a corner. So what I did today was when they went 3 wide receivers, instead of sending the safety over, I sent him over there. So all of a sudden now he's learning safety and he's able to play the wide receiver. So it takes me back to my old days when I first came in the NFL when I had Rod Woodson. You know, Rod was a safety, but he had played all those years at corner. So we didn't have to, when they went 3 wide receivers, Rod never came off the field. He just went down and played wide receiver. So that's what you'd like to have all the time, the one that one guy that can play safety and interchangeable.
Typical Chip Kelly offense likes to hear it a lot, but really the use of the tight end, maybe since the BYU game, you really haven't seen that much tight end involvement in the passing game. What are some of the challenges?
Well, you know, now all of a sudden you got 4 guys. You got three receivers and the tight end, and that's what they have. UCLA, I'm speaking of. That tight end they have is a pretty good athlete. Top end speed's good, runs pretty good routes, great hands, and he's a big target. So it creates an issue. You know, let's be honest. If they can, and now all of a sudden they have 4 receivers, and they're working on some mismatches, they got an advantage. However, I do believe that we're skilled enough that we can keep him in front of us, and we can run with him. That's the bottom line is we got to be able to keep him in front and run. Now, the other thing we got to be able to do is get some help with him, because he's pretty good. You just don't want to let him run down the field all the time playing one-on-one football, because he can separate. Scares me a little bit, but you know what? That's the fun part, trying to figure out how I'm going to get this guy covered.
Donnie, you've coached some really good ASU secondaries in the past. How does this group measure up in terms of potential and how it's playing relative to potential?
Well, it's hard to compare them because it's been so long ago. You know, that was when I was here the first time. I was here, 92 to about 97, I believe. And yeah, we had some pretty good guys in. Some guys went on to the NFL. What I do like about this secondary, if I try to compare it to the other ones, athleticism. You know, they're as athletic as they come. We got some guys that can flat run and change directions, and they catch the ball well. You never know. You know, when the scouts come in here and talk about guys, they have a pretty good picture of what they see on tape. You know, they look at the tape and they can analyze them and evaluate them from there. But I would say if I had to compare them, as you're asking, I'd probably say athleticism. And there is an athletic group that I've ever had. Comparing the two since I, came back anyway.
So these guys they all have a chance to play successfully at the next level.
Well, you know what? I believe so. You know, that, like I tell the guys, the scouts that come in here, I've been at that league up here also. It's really it's their job, the scouts' job, to analyze and evaluate the guys the way they perceive them, if they can fit into their scheme. That's the biggest thing. And right now, you know, we got some guys that can fit in different schemes. You know, we got some guys that can play man. We got some guys that play, you know, 3 deep. I don't know if we got too many guys that can play flat cover too. We're just not that big and physical. You know, our corners are probably what, 170, 175. And if you're playing cover 2, you probably want them 190, at least that they can get their hands on guys and reroute them. So it's just going to depend on what they and how they evaluate the kids and if they can help them for their schemes. But I'd be surprised if they don't. See, here's the other thing. Nowadays, because of the practice squad guys, you got more numbers. So you can hide guys more and give them more chances. So, you know, I always said if a guy been in school 5 years, he's probably going to get a chance just as a non-drafted, undrafted defensive back. All you want to do is get in camp. You know, the kids nowadays just get in camp because the numbers are so great that, you know, I don't know how many they carry now. I mean, when I was there, it was 53 on day, or 46 really day one, and then 53 during the week. But then you still had 6 or 7, 8 guys still there practicing. Now, I think the numbers might be a little bit higher now for the practice squad guys. So the bottom line is you're trying to get in camp. I'd be surprised if these guys, 5 of them, you know, we got 5 seniors really. I would think all 5 of them should have a chance to at least get to somebody's camp. And after that, hey, it's all about studying the playbook and making plays, really.
Just one more. What do you think about the Dorian, Thompson, Robinson play action and play extension capability within Chip Kelly's offense?
Anytime a quarterback can extend plays, you got problems. You know, we gotta do things up front to try to contain him and keep him in the pocket and make him go lateral if he wants to run. But you know, that's part of their offense. Some of the plays are designed for him to run. The play action part, you know, they suck you up, and next thing you know, the ball's over your head. So if we can keep it in front of us and stay on top, we should have a chance. But that's the game nowadays. You know, you got the quarterbacks that can extend plays, and you know, you got 5 or 6 in the box, and they got 1 more counting him. Yeah, so you know, you got to pick your poison sometimes. What are you stopping? But you know, if it's 3rd and 5 and he's extending the plays all the time, you got to get off the field too. So we might have something that we might have maybe 6 or 7. We might have to bring 2 more guys. Canadian League and try to stop him.